All right. I think that's about it, does it? Hey guys, hey, it's me, it's Tech Turncoat. How you guys doing? Resident Sleepy Boy, Tech Turncoat. Actually, I'm feeling that sleepy tonight. Hopefully, it stays that way. I've actually been really excited to get back to Of the Devil. I think this sounds really unfair to all the other games that I play because I really like all of them. I like all of the games that I play. I like all my kids evenly. I am very excited to get back to Of the Devil every single time. Also, you may have noticed uh I continued to quote unquote set up. Oh shit, I forgot to get that. Uh, when I transitioned back over here to this screen, it's because I really like this screen. It's a good one. It's for a lot of reasons. This is a really good screen that I was like, yeah, we should continue to and chill in here. And it is for similar reasons that I will ask you to continue to chill while I go get some water. I have no idea why, but lately I've been like crazy thirsty to lately, I guess. It's normally whenever I go like, okay, yeah, I'll get something to drink. I'll grab one bottle and you know down that over the course of the next 10 minutes. But like, I have been so thirsty. I've been so thirsty recently. I have no idea why. I've been like, though the one bottle is no longer enough. I need at least two. Also, I did me I did me a little just a little bit of a somebody that I like to watch stream played Extella, and I was like, ah, sick. And then I was like, wait a minute, some of this stuff comes back later. So I decided to make a couple notes. Uh, there's only two real notes of note, I guess. Is that one? I miss Carlos. Carlos was the guy that almost got put into prison, labeled the Heartbreak Killer because Morgan killed his girlfriend. He was cool. I miss. I know for obvious reasons he can't hang around the whole time, and I actually really like Sarah. So if it was a choice between him and Sarah, I would prefer Sarah. But like Carlos is cool. Also, uh, right, yes. They were looking at the bonus section interviews. Hold on, let me see if I can look at them right now. Do 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 do. Bonus scenarios. So when they were doing the bonus scenarios here, everyone has like a little interview, and at the end of as you're reading it, you kind of figure out that it's Sarah interviewing everybody. And when they do the Morgan interview, it actually becomes very somewhat evident through some stuff that they say in like the surrounding area that like this is while they were waiting entertainment for while Sarah was in custody for her dad's murder in one. Uh, that's when she took the time to interview Morgan for some reason. So that was fun. Just a fun little like, well, we have nothing else to do, Ed and I. Why don't we just? May I ask you some questions? All right. High roller mode. Let's get in. Eager to start. Oh, and I did say it earlier and somewhere else, but I really don't think that I would be very surprised if Morgan used the no mask, and I would be even more surprised if Morgan used the no mask during whatever killings. Something about it being making it less fun. I don't know. I don't know. I don't claim to know her mind. It was a quiet and uneventful drive in the back of the limousine. Privacy, at least, was nice. With Abbott and Costello riding the front, I had no way of getting information out of them, even passively. So instead, I have spent the whole ride trying to play out all the different ways this could go. I haven't really liked any of them so far. I suppose I should have felt relief or gratitude when we pulled up outside of an imposing skyscraper instead of an alley. I suppose it's a good sign that no one's put a bag over my head and stuck a needle in my neck. But I don't really feel like celebrating. For all I know, they really don't have a clue about what I did to the lower wards last night. But for some reason, they've placed their attention on me. And there's little I hate more than unwanted advances. I'm also not a fan of being made to wait. Why am I just sitting out here? In here? We're too late. It's like only by a few minutes. He filled the time slot. Already? We have no chance of. Maybe if his other meeting went well. Are we on hold, gentlemen? In the world's most expensive waiting room? Quite. I take it he's glaring at me behind those lenses, but it's more interested in the sweat glistening on his forehead. Somehow, of the three of us, I'm the most relaxed. This is becoming embarrassing. Can I at least take in the view while we're here? You can take photos if you like, as long as you're quiet. Really? No. Your phone will work. Go figure. Nope. Big sky. The illusion isn't unimpressive, I guess. Windows into the heavens, sparkling like raindrops across a puddle. Might even be appealing if it wasn't trying to be something it's not. You look up and see hexagons above you in the lower wards too. Picture 4. People just can't imagine themselves under an open sky anymore. Not even in their wildest dreams. Ooh, datapad. Is it trying too hard to look unconcerned if I sit down and start reading the news? Maybe. But my boredom outweighs my apprehension at the moment. Not my fault they failed to be sufficiently intimidating. PSS, Preposition Cities, ahead of next month's convention. Next month the city will play host to one of the most competitive political conventions in recent memory, with Senator Mathings expected to be a significant opposition from party outline. Securing his nomination, but while the broader... Oops, shit. That's right. Oh. Shit, I forgot how I turned it off last time. Wait, nope, I remembered. Why is it the same as the F11? Alright, next month the city will play things opposition expected to face significant opposition from party outliers before securing his nomination. Oh. But while the broader nation eagerly anticipates the upcoming political circus, city officials are already under fire for supposed lack of sufficient convention security. The city's already approved a record high monthly budget for the police department, including fully unrestricted overtime for officers of all ranks. But a coalition of private security services, including White Adder, Fang, and Demico, has released a press statement urging City Council to consider contracting their services ahead of the convention. Heartbreak was bad enough. Now we're hearing that cops are dying in the lower wards. When are city officials going to say enough is enough? Said Demico, head of press relations Arthur Gall. We have the utmost respect for all first responders. None of us are blaming the hardworking police for these failures. How could they succeed when political insiders insist that they tried and apprehend criminals with one hand tied back? Our contracted forces have world-class training in crowd pacification, preemptive de-escalation, and enhanced interrogation tactics. tear gas, shoot first, and torture. And any of the subhuman scum who emphasize with the anarchists won't dare leave their mother's basements once we get our boots on the ground. That's a guarantee. City Council declined to comment when we reached out to them to ask whether they would be issuing a request for proposals and such services. Total city population is expected to swell next month as the national political spotlight draws lobbyists, delegates, political action committees, and voters ahead of the 2-week-long process. Most of the community members we spoke about expressed optimism about the increase in economic activity and tourism the convention is expected to bring. But some who refused to give us their permission, publish their identifying info, rudely and loudly voiced their criticism. 2 weeks for a convention when the nominee was decided 2 years ago? That's a joke, and we're the punchline. Footing the bill to pay cops to stand around outside parties full of thousands of do-nothing staffers and campaign managers. This article is presented to you by Advertiser Free. Thanks to our generous donors including Daniel Mass, Dennis A. Rebecca E. Jones of the Rebecca E. Jones Foundation, Jessica and Ronald Pigal of the Magal Foundation for the Arts and Sciences, the Rockford Fund for the Public Broadcasting, and readers like you. Thank you. We signed to read the rest. Suppose it's less offensive than the bare advertisement or paywall, but why is it listed? Well, why list your donors mid-article? All it does is make my eyes glaze over. Whatever. I got the important part. City's hosting the convention next month, putting pressure on the council to vote on. Yeah, supporting candidates was supported earlier. I don't know if they're gonna hire mercenaries for this shit. Ah, shit. Hey, there it is. Never mind. Whether or not to bring in private security contractors on top of the massive policing budget. Makes a little difference to me. Cops and mercs have different quirks, but they all share the same blind spots. I'll be just fine. The average law-abiding citizen will put up with them clogging the streets for 2 weeks, though. Only going to be the least popular political decision made the next month. Everyone knows Mathings will be the candidate. That was decided years ago. The contested convention will just be him finding a balance between how much public opposition he's willing to stomach against how many favors he feels they give out. Which is already a circus without any bread. I think at least they could do is make the performances entertaining. What was the article about cops dying in the lower wards anyway? Yeah, I did notice that. Pretty heavy-handed just to make up that kind of thing, even when pearl-clutching and pitching yourself at the same time. Oop. Go fish? That could be cool. Of the Devil gets a fishing minigame? That's all there is left to do, I think. If we weren't hyper-aware of the flickering sky hanging over my head, this could make for a lovely watering hole. Those probably aren't even real fish down there. Literal children are capable of keeping goldfish alive, so of course the 0.1%ers can't manage it. Maybe they'd spin it. When their pallid bodies float to the top because of some idiot raised the water temperature 2 degrees, it'd certainly be easy to scoop out. If you're an impatient, undignified idiot, you can argue that it's an efficient way to fish. Well, I looked around at everything that caught my eye. Now I'm all out of ideas. Everything except... Maybe they don't know we're here. I'm going to try knocking. What do you... Hey! Before I get the chance, creaking oak draws my attention to an alternate entrance at the other side of the water. Look at this fucking Yaka's ass. These men are about organized crime if ever I did see it. Stop staring, get a move on. It's kind of man walking out of this place. Who's waiting for me inside? "4:09 p.m., August 14th. Ikaria Tower, residential floors, Grand Hall. Up circumstance, ceremony, and ritual. For some reason, I thought of the Mafia. of all people, would be a little more efficient in their execution, a little more honest about what they are. Evidently not. Artifice with every glance, costumes and makeup around. Is this disappointment? That even here, in the supposed bowels of the underworld, there's no escaping the etiquette of it all? She's the one. Doesn't look like much. Suddenly, their posture stiffens even further. True feet. Their necks subtly turn to a pair of doors in the back, each of them attuned to some signal I'm not receiving. Be still, the young master returns. How young is this young master? Young. Okay. You're late. Hold on, wait. Young master, sir, Everyone slow down. We came as soon as we found her. Sir, traffic was just some sassy lost child. Oh man, they love that line. Silence. Yes, sir. What time were you told to return by? 4 o'clock, sir. And what time is it now? Permission to check my phone. You're late. You were tasked with finding one woman and bringing her here in a timely manner. Sir, you'll speak when I tell you and not one word further, or else I'll have your teeth removed by way of curbside. Gulp. Am I being recorded? What the fuck is going on here? He who wishes to fight must first count the cost. So says Sun Tzu. Please let this be a prank. And I don't think you can fathom the cost of your tardiness has incurred. The lead up to my execution is just some kid reading from the Art of War. I might just. What is the number one rule in this family? Timeliness, sir. When money gets wasted, it can be replaced. Time only goes one way. It's always running out. The loss is permanent. Every second wasted is a scar on this house's face. Timeliness is next to godliness. So say I. Oh, God. So if you two ever waste my time, the house's time again, expect to be dragged through hell. Already there. Now both of you get out. Sir, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Useless. You. Red woman. You're being addressed. I get pride. I just want to get this over with as fast as possible. I'm going to just, throw a little safety save. I forgot that was my charm again. Hold on. There are kids here. Terms Neobility. I think I already got that one. You're the lawyer, correct? You may answer as fast as possible. I am a lawyer. Morgan, criminal defense, Mr. How should I address you? As all outsiders do, by my name. Makoto of House Ikaria. Oh, wait, such envious. Heir apparent, unemployed student. Biographies, shogi, amber, tardiness, tarnish, group assignments. That's weird. Fey figure, Saladin, ha, Sun Tzu, ha, Hannibal, the other one. Fey phrase, Fey victus, literally woe to the conquered. Is that what that means? Oh, let's go! Painting models. All right. I see you, Makoto. You, Morgan Criminal Defense, have the great honor of being summoned before me. Don't bother bowing. Once you start, you'll end up prostrated all day. We'll have important work to do. Right. Out of the abundance of respect for your time, Makoto, I should let you know that I still have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh. That's a nail theater or some such thing. Miss Defense. Mrs. Really? The house has need of your legal services. Oh. Would you give me a moment to clear my throat? I need to switch gears. One instant. Right then. So you want to hire me? One of our own is being slandered by multiple homicide charges. You will defend him. You want to hire me, and I'm flattered, Makoto, but did you pull my name out of a hat? Like a random page in a phone book? I have many books on my phone. Libraries filled with esoteric knowledge spread across countless tomes. You'll have to be more specific. Sorry, I misspoke. I didn't know there were phone books fucking 800 years after they fell out of practice. What I mean is, this is House Icaria. You must keep a small army of lawyers on retainer. Surely any one of them could be happy to help you. True, we have lawyers. Competent ones, expensive ones, and some who are both. The best of them are all preoccupied. That's it? They're just preoccupied? Preoccupied means busy. Thanks. But I'm still not sure how my name specifically was. Do you have a customer survey you want filled out, Miss Defense? You were recommended. What does it matter how it came about? Normally it wouldn't matter. When the client I'd recommended to is one of the richest, most well-connected families in the country, it does give me pause. I don't have any friends in high places. Not anymore. That makes it hard to see this as a favor. Not when my employer doesn't even know my goddamn name. Of course, my apologies. No doubt you have other questions? Very well. I permit you to ask them. Such a gentleman. Oh, I also learned, and this was, like tutorial shit, but, choices that, like, pop out are ones that, like, you can only choose one or the other. These means I get to ask all of them. Let's go down the line. I wasn't brought here because of what happened last night, and this is just another job. Meaning all of this, starting back at the bar, this has just been their idea of a power move. Thank you for insisting that I get to visit your estate in person. It's beautiful here. An oasis of old world sensibility amidst the desert of steel and neon eyesores. That's what the house elders say. I've never seen anything like it. It matches your family's reputation for class. Ha! My family's reputation is power, not class. I'll take it a step further and guess you're renowned for violence rather than power. But it's a moot point. Violence can be classy. From how this house is talking about the headlines I read in the drive over, the nature of your family's reputation seems to vary greatly, depending on who you ask. Some think you got half the gangs in the city under your control. Others think you've left all that behind and are no worse than any other Corp family. Are you expecting me to ask what you think? What I think is that you'll need some basic information of if I'm to adequately defend your interests. I'll need some basic information. We're financiers. You don't say. Lending, investing, taking over, buying out. The Icaria Financial Group was founded nearly 2 centuries ago. Loading funds is high risk, high reward. But as you can see, our results speak for themselves. Asset managers. Profile so we can determine your options. Uh-huh. One of our partners, yeah. Better suited to your class. Yeah. Icaria Financial Group. Fancy way of saying they got their start as mobster loan sharks. It's not impossible to get this rich with loan sharking alone, but such unsavory work wouldn't get them into the ballrooms and boardrooms tiers of society. Gotta rip people off with mortgages to do that. Is lending the house's only income stream? No. Through Aurea, our holding company, the house controls any number of what a civilian like you might call legitimate enterprises. And yes, we did found the Renegan Pharmaceutical Corporation, but what's past is prologue. Renegan? They're a drug company, one of the biggest. You're saying you've no relation to Renegan presently. Renegan. That's how I say it. The company went public years ago, and Aurea divested our shares not long after. We were given one seat on the board as a formality, And that's the extent of it. Given a family like this only takes. Why is he suddenly so humble? He doesn't know the meaning of the word if he's downplaying their pull within Renengan. Global leader in pharmaceutical research development industry puts your health before any other concern. As we pursue our corporate goals. Consistent, steady growth. Yeah, sure. After our founding, our research has developed metenformalin treatment for type 2 abnormal diabetes, freeing millions of adolescents. The house must have reason to want to distance himself from the company. You're being very modest, Makoto. And more than a little vague. It's only polite. It's unnecessary talking to your lawyer. You aren't my lawyer, Miss Defense, but you will be working for me. So you have to become accustomed to putting your needs second. He's deflecting. And if he's trying to be subtle about it, he's not doing it well. I doubt it's possible for a company with as big a boot heel as Renegan to have no relation to anything that happens in the city, but I'll drop it for now. I'm in no rush to wade into a boardroom politics again anytime soon. It was annoying. I'd like to know a bit more about you, actually. How long have you... I am the one and only son of Raphael Ikaria and the only grandson of Daisuke Ikaria, CEO of the Ikari Financial Group, patriarch of his family, and chairman of the house. I gather those titles are all one and the same. As one destined to succeed the headship, commanding the family's servants is my responsibility and my birthright. So if one of them needs a lawyer, it falls to you. When our loyal men, women, and their families need help, it is my solemn duty to ensure that they are taken care of. And your age? What a boorish question. I knew that peasants raised outside our status had little understanding of the finer things, but I assumed that one with a law degree would be educated enough to know that this isn't what is and isn't appropriate to discuss. Just because I am younger than some does not mean I am less capable of managing the people who work for me. Does it, men? No, sir, no, sir. You definitely command their respect. That is no coincidence. One of the most frequently noted characteristics of great men who have remained great is loyalty to their subordinates. So says George S. Pat. That's so interesting. This is an important point. Perhaps another quote is called for. I don't think that's necessary. I'll grant you another. If soldiers are punished before they have grown attached to you, they will not prove submissive. They will not prove submissive. And unless submissive, they will be practically useless. So says Sun Tzu. Back to back. Yes, a second quotation was called for in this instance. If only to emphasize that to you that no one stays useless to House Ikaria for very long. One way or another. Right. I'll admit I was more than a little taken aback to step off an elevator and into your enclosure out there. The gardens. Yes, our groundskeepers work hard on them. Does the illusion of the sky come from a live recording or somewhere else? Or is it generated programmatically? That'd take quite the equation. It is impressive, yes. As for how it works, I don't have the technical minutiae in front of me at the moment. That's okay. Of course it is. A land does not concern himself with the exterior decorations of the sheep. That is your exterior and your decorations. What does it matter anyway? What the specifics so badly? How about the servants put you in contact with the contracting firm? That's all right. Something tells me the consultation alone would break my bank account. It was a very interesting question. Unless it becomes important later, I guess. I do appreciate the warm welcome, Makoto of Hasakaria, really. But legal consultants are usually more private than this. Are we certain we need the peanut gallery? Let it not be said that House Ikaria is not accommodating of its guests. We're more than capable of compensating for this nut allergy you're alluding to. That's so sweet of you. But do all these guards really need to be present for this conversation? If you're referring to the additional security, it can't be helped. Circumstances being what they are. Circumstances. And if you're referring to my retainers in general, then I suggest you step back into the garden and take a deep breath. Clearly, the sitting fumes do not agree with your constitution. You must be lightheaded if you think that you're worthy to hold a one-on-one audience with the next head of this illustrious house. He is a prodigy to be this insufferable at such a young age. Thank you for indulging my curiosity so graciously, Makoto. Conquer the stingy through generosity. So says Buddha. Correct. Perhaps your education is not quite as deficient as I had feared. But I should make it clear that in this case I was using the quote to subtly imply that you are stingy with your own graciousness. Yep, got it. Shall we move on? I believe you mentioned a homicide. Multiple homicides. Tell me more. My head of security was arrested by the police last night in the lower wards. Oh, shit. That guy that was strung up. Shit. Oh, he took the fall for that. Yeah, we did make that seem like that was what was up. Yeah, huh. Ooh. Yeah. They found him brutally beaten and drugged and tortured. And instead of bringing him straight to a hospital, they arrested him for murder. He's been framed, and you must prove his innocence. Un instant? Is there something wrong with your voice? Is that peanut allergy you mentioned? No, I just lost my train of thought for a second there. I'm not used to my luck changing this fast. One of the richest families in the city wants to pay me to prove a man's innocence of a crime I framed him for? Right then. Might I ask why he was found in the lower wards? I get the impression the Ikaria territory is generally positioned more vertically. This whole city is our territory, but it is true that our presence is felt more strongly in some areas than others. They captured him early yesterday. He was ambushed by cowards and dragged down to the stain of a neighborhood to be tortured senselessly. Well, he was tortured, I can attest to that much. But I don't believe in senseless violence. There's always a purpose, and it's usually staring you in the face. People just don't like making eye contact. Do you have any idea why he was taken, or by whom? It was the Blue Bloods. They made no effort to hide it. In a worthy opponent, I might call that commendable, but knowing them, they're just too stupid to value deniability. I'm sure. And I'm sure there's no love lost between your groups, but kidnapping and torturing is beyond the pale, I agree! And the police are even worse. I expected no help from those incompetent fools, but those charges they're making, they're utterly ridiculous. Of course they are, but don't worry. Oh, they want to pin 5 murders on him. Hold on a sec. Where's the fucking 5? Where is there? It is. I'm confident I can. Yeah, okay. Did you say 5? Yes, 5. It's absurd. I can only take credit for 4 bodies. So high and mighty, so affronted, so eager to blame us for the death of one of their officers. Oh, shit. A dead cop. Is that what those mercs are advertising themselves with? Well, what do you mean one of their officers? Was there a UC or... No. They made the ridiculous claim that he killed some uniform while resisting arrest. As if a member of our house would fear prison. I should have never dared to think I got lucky there. These circumstances sound very complex, Makoto, and the police take the death of one of their own very seriously. What makes you so certain of this man's innocence? Because the man's name is Sosuke Ikaria. Ouch. I've known him all my life. All 3 or 4 years of it. There is no individual more honorable, more devoted, more trustworthy. And not once have I ever known him to be... violent? impulsive. He didn't do this. I know he didn't do this. But proving that is your job. About that. I haven't actually accepted the job yet, Bakoto. But you will. If for no other reason than because we shall pay you more than more than you customarily receive for a contract. Considerably more. Not everything's a question of money. Yes, your meaning is taken. It needn't be silver and gold. You'll have no complaints with your compensation. The favor of Hasakaria can go a long way in this city. As can our wrath. I don't appreciate being threatened. I don't find it funny, even coming from a kid. However, the state thinks whoever killed those 4 blue bloods also killed a cop. I can't afford to sit this hand out. I'll go over every centimeter of that building. One wrong move, one hair out of place. If I lose here, I lose. Period. But if I win, throwing a Karia-sized wallet in the pot beforehand is an all upside. I understand, Hokoto of Hasakaria. I'll take Sosuke's case. You say that if it was ever in doubt, a true prodigy. But I might be right. Maybe it never was. I chose to put that gun into Sosuke's hands, but I could have just plunged that knife into his temple. Maybe the line drawn from the moment to the razor edge I'm walking right now is perfectly straight. A line drawn from one point to another is always perfectly straight. A better metaphor would be a bullet's trajectory. For all the talk of wind resistance and breathing patterns and the Coriolis effect and chaos theory, can't exactly act surprised when your shot lands right when the crosshairs were pointing. Morgan's my last name, by the way, before you start writing any checks. You should have enunciated. Oh boy. It's Carlos all over again, baby. In transit. Hey there, boss. Of course I'm fine. What did you think was going to happen? Yeah, all good news. I got quite the paycheck coming my way. Maybe bad news for you if you get a large crowd tonight. Yeah. Tell Sarah to meet me in the police station address I'm about to send. I got work for her to do. There will be quite the paycheck indeed waiting for me, assuming I can win. But can I afford to accept it? Ugh. Hey. Were any of those jokes about the office being, office about your clients being connected to organized crime true? What? Is this some kind of honeypot? Trying to get a grasp on something. Now I know you're baiting me. World's easiest, that's what she said, layup. I'll still take, I still basket that shit though, I don't give a Why do you make everything so hard? Come on. Come on, Freckles. Low-hanging fruit. I have no idea what you're talking about. Obviously. Why are you asking me about mafia shit, though? I'm working a case for the Ikaria, whom I assume you've heard of. Definitely. Under circumstances that are probably vulgar. Absolutely. Which you'd be happy to brag about to me anytime. But I'm not well positioned to turn down the job outright. So I'd like to know whether they'll be resistant about parting ways afterwards. Why? Do you not like getting paid lots of money? I don't like being chained. Fair enough. So you're like, just asking for my advice? The aura loss is incredible. Not gonna attempt to parse that. I doubt you ever could. It's slang from hundreds of years ago. This is 21 something, right? My generation's sense of humor is practically impregnable. A very basic non sequitur, Auntie. It just wasn't funny. Not even. A non sequitur would be, what's the charge? That's just getting back on topic. The charge is homicide. 5 counts. Eh. You're probably fine. All the stuff you hear about mobsters being clingy with their lawyers. It's because they don't want anyone who's been through their underwear drawers running around, telling tales. Whatever report they pinned multiple homicides on is obviously not anyone important. I don't think he was framed. Not by his own people. Yeah, pinned as in. Stuck with. Like a chore. Powerful people, mob or no. They get lawyers, it's for tax evasion and conspiracy charges. Dirty work's left to the pawns. And the whole point of a pawn is... you don't have to think twice about trading them off. Alright. Guess I know the rumors are true then. Yep, you uncovered my cool secret. Listen. Actors. Singers. Celebs. They all like expensive things and being the center of attention. Mobsters have money to burn and want the cologne of legitimacy. Everyone wants what they can't have. Okay, chill, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Great-looking Gatsby ass. She texts like Dave Strider. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. What? All I'm saying is there's mutually beneficial agreements to be made. I still pine for thee, motherfucker. That's good. That's a good bit. Between the rich and the famous. And the rich and infamous. So you bet your ass I was in those rooms. Negotiating appearance fees. And taking my 30%. 30%? You really are shameless. That's what she said. Alright. Thanks for this. Thanks as always for the sage counsel. Hey, if you're really feeling grateful, do me a solid and call your rents. They say they never hear from you. And I know you can't be that busy. But if you're bored enough to talk to me, they're the ones who are busy. Can't believe, I can't imagine she's eager to talk to someone who used to call her tumor? I gotta stop scratching that. Alright. Masters. Oh, here we are again. One day we'll see you in person, probably. Is that a fake arm? I think so. It just depends on the time of day. Maybe lawyer to the rich and famous, semi-retired. Takes waterfalls, manicures, macadamia nuts? No, that is a real thing. I just got used to academia. Anyway, getting ghosted by my adorable daughter. Goddaughter. Oh, that's cool. Oh, haha. She also got one of those, not tracheotomy things, but, smoking too much. Cosmopolitan double, collects favors and friends in high places. SSR the first pull, bitch. Envy. Although I can't be too mad. I think I talked about it last night. I got Alco within the first 30. So that doesn't sound that impressive, but it was to me. SSR, god damn. That's probably like a metaphor, but if it isn't, god damn. Oh yeah, her parents. That's gonna come about eventually. Obviously, I wasn't sure what happened after I left that crime scene. And I wasn't sure what I'd find walking in here to speak to my clients. But I definitely wouldn't have bet that the next time I saw this man alive, It actually look worse. Jesus. Oh, the cops. Did you not hear me? I said I'm your lawyer. Oh, I heard you. I'm just not interested in wasting my breath responding. I'm sorry. Is there a misunderstanding here? Not at all. I understand exactly what you are. You and all your fellow... Your companion is staring at me very intently. I bet she is. Sarah, blink. You're embarrassing me in front of the Yakuza. That's a very dated word. You'd really prefer I call you an orca. I prefer you give up and leave. What are you talking? I'm sure they told you I've been softened up. That they'd broken me and they'd be ready to sign whatever you put in front of me. Sorry to disappoint you. The Hound of Ikaria does it here. So cool. Sosuke, I'm gonna repeat myself plainly. And slowly, because you clearly have multiple head injuries. I am not a lawyer. I am your lawyer. Ah. Right then. Very good. Thank you for coming. I apologize if I misspoke just now. I'd misspeak too if I'd lost as much blood as you did. Morgan Esquire. I'll be representing you from here on out. Sosuke of Rasikaria.
Sarah, paralegal and bartender.
You're very young to have 2 jobs. Or tend bar.
Well, it's only part-time.
Right.
So tell us, Sosuke of Hasakaria, what is your routine?
You look very fit. What? Are you asking about... Do you not have me on file? Sorry, which firm are you from? DDD? MPM? DPM? No, MPM. I'm in private practice. You mean you're not a mob lawyer? No, but please don't hold it against me. Everyone has to start the path to corruption somewhere. There are serious risks involved in representing a man with my background against charges like this. It's very sweet of you to... They say I killed a cop, miss. I realize I may look a sorry state at the moment, but I have not fallen so low that I'd sully the house's name by dragging a civilian into... Makoto thought differently. The young master? You've seen him? How is he? Where is he? Is he unharmed? He was sitting pretty atop the literal throne surrounded by armed guards last time I checked. Thank you for that. No one's told me anything, and If the young master has spoken on this matter, I won't go against his judgment. But I hope you understand what you're getting into. I'm already in it, Sasuke. How well I understand what I'm in is something I think you'd be able to help with. Very well. What do you want to know? So far, all I know about you is your first and last name. It's a very important last name. But I take your meaning. And in truth, the first thing you should know is that I am not worthy of it. Why? You disqualified due to pre-existing conditions? I was born Sosuke Hayakawa, 4th son of a distant branch family. The only reason I bear the name of Ikaria is because I was adopted into the main house as an infant. In exchange for lifelong service to the main family. Sounds like a great deal.
Lifelong? How did you serve the Ikaria as an infant?
There are various tax benefits if you have exactly 2 children. Don't be absurd. I am what you would call a bodyguard. From the time I was able to walk, I was trained to be of service to the house by protecting the heir with my life. From the time you're able to walk, there are a lot of demand for toddler bodyguards. All that's ever been asked of me is that I stand in the right place at the right time.
You mean like in family photographs?
Like in front of a blade. Even a child can manage that. The house has given me everything I've ever had, and taught me everything I've ever known. What meager service I can offer in return means nothing compared to the debt I owe them.
You view your relationship with your family as a transaction?
It's not something so cold, girl. It's a matter of loyalty. Family, 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 family. Right. So if you were standing before a judge and they asked your name and occupation, you would say, My name is Sosuke Akaria, and I'm an eternal servant for a living. I would say my name is Sosuke Ikaria, and I work as head of personal security for the Ikaria Financial Group. Wow. Svelte little man, isn't he? 192 centimeters, but only 97 kilograms. Gee. Someone, I once had like a guide to explain the personality blood type thing that Japan has going on. I don't remember it, and I lost it. But also A, positive and negative are supposed to mean different things too. One day I'll find it again. Occupation: head of personnel, security, Ikaria group, likes whetstones, paperbacks, and matcha. Just likes the opera of wasabi and insects. Favorite author: Alexander Dumas. You don't say. Is this a count thing or a musketeers type thing? Cafe Americano. Default status: non-work related messages will be locked. Yeah, that's fair.
And what does that entail exactly?
I am the young master's bodyguard, and I lead all his security teams. Nice to properly meet you. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And I am Sarah, paralegal and bartender part-time.
Yes, I believe you already mentioned that.
It seemed like we were all doing it twice.
Well, thank you for your paralegal services, Sarah. And here I had the impression you had no sense of humor. What do you mean?
It seems in this particular instance, Adonai, it was you who misidentified his proper manners as being sarcastic.
Glad we're all broken the ice. Makoto told me that this all started because you were taken captive yesterday? What happened? It was 2 p.m. The young master had just finished a meeting with the VIP on Crane Tower, floor 108. 2 p.m.? He wasn't in school? I'll ask that you refrain from mocking the young master in my presence. Also, floor 108? Like, different 108 sins or whatever? Is it sins? Whatever. He is a child. Anyone can see that. But you have no idea the pressures that have been placed on him. Whatever my client wants. As I was saying, it was just after 2 p.m. Me and the rest of my team escorted him to the elevators along our planned exit route. But our lift stopped suddenly between floors 61 and 62. That was when I made a fatal mistake. I had a bad feeling. Thought it best to get Makoto to the ground floor ASAP. So I forced the elevator door open, crawled out, and pulled him out after me. But just as he got out, the elevator started up again, separating us from the rest of the guard.
It was a trap.
A 50-50 one, saying it wasn't safe either. If they could stop the elevator, it's not a stretch to think they could drop it too. He just lost the coin flip when he decided to exit. Yes, Sarah, it was a trap. Floors 60 through 70 were undergoing heavy retrofitting. The elevators weren't responding, columns were jammed. I'd reviewed the entire building's blueprints beforehand. Not very useful information, obviously, for a floor undergoing renovations. But I knew that there was a constructed elevator we could get to, on the other side of the tower. I had to act fast. There was no time to doubt myself, and I did something unforgivable. You left the kid? I picked him up over my shoulder.
Oh, well, that sounds like fun.
House, forgive me. Everything the young master does for the sake of his name and dignity, and I... Kids are tougher than you think. I think you'll get over it. So you escorted him to the service elevator, I take it? That's when things... Yes, I'm sorry, but I only remember a few vague details about what happened next. But I'll tell you what little I can. After I activated the lift,
Two assailants emerged from under a topped doorway at my 7 o'clock. One tall, one thin. Tall was around 190 centimeters, his weight. It's say 100 kilograms with the mods. Nope, he wasn't there. So it would be... Shit, it's all in alphabetical order. Tanks. Yeah, fairly accurate. And was it Trey? Nope. Trey was the new guy. Or Sod. Miller? 177, 69 kilograms. Finn was maybe 175 centimeters, but slouched. Modded as well, but what I saw looked stripped down, so he couldn't have been heavier than 70 kilo. They had needle guns, slow to fire, slow to take effect. A memorable choice. Tyler one shot first, jerked his arm when he pulled the trigger. A bad habit usually favored by street slinger punks, who used to compensating with the kickback of jailbroken zippers. He might as well have been aiming at the ceiling. Finn lines up his shot properly. The laser sight dialed in on the young master's left trapezoid. I shift into a horse-fighter stance, and deflect the needle with my weapon. Yeah, there he is. The lift doors open behind me just as another shooter steps forward at my 3 o'clock. He's really good at this. 177 and 62 kilograms. But he'd probably just say 175 and 60. Or so I thought. But all they had was a laser pointer. Literally a cheap trick. That's good. That's really good, actually. But it worked. I hear a click from my 8 o'clock. Wow, I didn't actually think he'd show up. Freak himself. I hear a click from 8 o'clock, turn my neck. I feel a weight punch into my deltoid. Dullish kind of pain for an instant. I realize I'm already going now. And that's when I squeeze. Squeeze? He's talking about his mods. That's how I've always described it. Others say they flex or pull or hold. I squeeze. I keep the Type 2 external thoracic booster. Some burst strength and pain-killing capabilities, but in short, it's a reflex enhancer. Make 1 second feel like 15 in hindsight. And it makes you feel like you ran a marathon during those 15 seconds once the kickback gets you. But I digress. I moved. Got Makoto to the elevator and wrenched the doors shut myself, taking 3 more needles to the back in the process. I remember saliva pooling on my lip and then cold concrete scratching my cheek. Alright, Sasuke. So you're regarding Makoto. These men laid a trap, targeted him with tranks, failed, and they take you instead. Yes, to my great shame. You were outnumbered and ambushed, but you still managed to protect Makoto. What is there to be ashamed of? That I didn't see it coming. You were saying this has happened before. Dozens of attempts in the past year. Some headed off at the early stages, some sidestepped entirely, and some stopped with force. I knew their tactics and I knew our vulnerabilities. Yet still I failed. Sasuke, that is not incorrect. Hadn't I? Am I wrong? Shouldn't a bodyguard get at least 1 shot off before being taken down? Shot? What do you mean shot? You were not carrying a firearm? No. No one in the team has guns. How's that? None of us in the security teams had firearms with us. But you're a gangster. I am a head of personal security for the Ikaria Financial Group. Walking into Allied Group's property armed with the teeth insults their hospitality and makes the house look insecure, or worse, impotent. And I am not a security expert, but I do think there's some gray area between armed to teeth and empty-handed. I mean, didn't you just say you deflected their attack? It was not defenseless just because I wasn't carrying a gun. Oh? I had my sword. So lame. So cool. You walk around town with a samurai sword. So you assume that it's a katana? Is it? Yes. It is a signifier of my position with the house and shows that I am acting as a representative of it. Is it ceremonial then?
No, it's quite sharp. I can attest to that.
Although it's probably in terrible condition by now, seeing as the city's police manhandle everything else they touch.
Speaking of which, perhaps we should move on to the night's main events. They tried for Makoto, got you instead, and took you to the lower wards. Why?
I've been wondering that myself. Aren't you essentially worthless?
As a hostage, she means. I know that. Thinking back, I was surprised myself to wake up. At all, let alone in captivity. But it seems they had questions they wanted to ask me. What do you remember? Whatever they used on me. I can remember some things, but how much of it was real, what order it happened in, it's all... Just say whatever comes to mind. It could be anything. Sights, smells, voices. There are no wrong answers. I was bound, my wrists bound above my head, tied to something that smelled like iron and rattled like old iron. Tiles beneath my feet, some kind of bathroom or decontamination area. Good guess. They asked me questions. I said things. Loose lips, like being drunk for the first time again. But I'm confident, other than vulgarities, it was all incoherent. Because there were shocks. The taste of blood. I must have bit my tongue during the spasms. And there were beatings, of course. I wouldn't have guessed.
Adonai, do you need corrective lenses?
Sarcasm's just how I grieve a lost opportunity, Sarah.
Lost opportunity?
Yeah, it's a damn shame. From what I can see of it, a pretty face like yours would go a long way with the jury if it wasn't pulverized. Ridiculous. Is he blushing? Yeah, he's a little bit.
I agree about his face, Adonai, but I don't believe it is his only strong feat. Let us move on. Really? Well, in that case, how did your captivity end? Do you recall escaping?
I was blindfolded the entire time, but my ears weren't boxed so bad. There was a door that squeaked and whined, so I always knew when someone was coming or going. One voice asked questions, mostly it was light. Another voice grunted when he hit me, heavy. Other voices came and went, then eventually, there was talk. Through the door I heard they were all talking to someone else.
A new voice? Was it high pitched or low? Lower soft, loud or soft?
It doesn't matter. What's important is that it belonged to someone new. Someone besides you and the dead who was there last night. Did you make out
any part of their conversation?
No, not a word. But there was a loud noise. Gunshots, followed by shouting and ugly sounds. And then, a hollow pain in my skull as I lost consciousness again. When next I came to, I had something in my hand. In my hands. Something sharp. I didn't even think to ask what it was or where it came from. I just started working at the bindings. Rushed and clumsy. Poked myself in the process. But I cut them loose. When I took the gag out, the blindfold was so tight I cut it rather than try and... damn thing must have been acting as a bandage because when I took it off... Between the light and the pain through my head, I thought my head had split open. It took me a long time to stand up. Felt like I could lie on that cold, disgusting floor forever if I just... But something was poking me. Something tucked into my waistband. The gun. A gun. Imagine my surprise. Checked the safety, the chamber reflectively, but only saw 2 spent slugs. I was too tired to be confused, so I just walked out, the squeaky door, and into red. Just red. And then I was blinking at an IV,
Don't know where the edge came from. Handcuffed to a stretcher in an ambulance. Some cop reading me my rights, saying that I killed 5 people. No, wait, some judge or official said that later. When I woke up at the ambulance, all they said was that I was a cop killer. Omitting some strong language. I don't understand. You were held captive, interrogated, tortured. Then you woke up armed and you were able to escape? The cops didn't ask me any questions, and I would have answered if they tried. It's been nearly a full day, and I'm just now saying it aloud for the first time. It truly sounds absurd. That's your world, Sosuke, not mine. Do you have any theories on what happened? Only 2 possibilities come to mind. In the first scenario, one or more of my captors wanted to kill me, but needed an excuse to do so. So they let me escape. They give me a knife and an unloaded gun, and wait for me to stumble out so they can mist me and be done with it. The plan doesn't work. Somehow I limp out of that room and shoot, cut, stab, kill them all. That would be quite the feat, given the condition you say you were in. Yes, a tale for the ages. But not possible. Why isn't it possible? Even if he had the motive, and they were stupid enough to give him the opportunity, he was still lacking bullets. He had both of those. The gun was... Wait, hold on. He had a knife. He had a gun. Bullets seem the obvious choice. But in the story, he said unloaded gun, so I'm gonna go with it. In the brief I read, 2 of the pod were shot to death. I'm sure you're highly qualified, Sosuke, but I doubt you can fire a gun without bullets. No, I cannot. As I said, the gun I woke up with had already fired both its shots. So if we tell the police that the gun wasn't loaded, would that clear Sosuke's name for 2 of the murders? There's no proof the gun was already empty by the time he got his hands on it. She's right. The gun was some kind of jailbroken madrail. The only residue it'd leave behind is static. So long as my prints are on it, it's all the evidence they need to claim I fired it. How about the second possibility, then? The second possibility is that someone walked into that building, killed my captors, and then tried to frame me for it. That sounds like lunacy. We've already eliminated the other possibility. Insane trumps impossible. Like it or not, this bad Samaritan theory is our best shot. What? What's up? I'm just surprised you believed me. You haven't even asked if I did it. I never ask. Helps that I can usually just tell. A wise policy for the world you're setting foot into. Not if it makes any difference here. Even I don't know if I'm guilty. You were drugged and beaten. You're still injured even now. And I just reasoned that you couldn't have killed your captors with it. Without help. We just reasoned, whatever. What makes you think you might still be guilty? Because I've killed before. Pale spark flickers in the back of my mind. My index finger raises slightly. My lips part. Was I expecting this? Stepping into the criminal underworld? Looking forward to it? The rare opportunity to speak frankly with someone else who's... You mean... Yes. I was in the military. Okay. I've taken lives. Many times. That doesn't make you a murderer. Soldiers are given orders. I've killed people. Whether or not the superior asked me to doesn't change that fact. But soldiers... Are you a soldier, Sarah? No? So drop it. She is good at following orders. It can take years to acquire that skill. I imagine it comes easy for androids. Yes, I suppose that's... Wait, that's an android? Did you miss the... It's like right above her eyes, man. And ignore my self-introduction? Look, I'm tired. I thought those were highlights or something. Did my hair catch your eye? You have discerning taste. It is good. It's a really good hair
You see, each strand is actually. Was there something else you wanted to say, Sosuke?
I've taken lives before, and so I know how I feel afterwards. Then, and how do you feel right now? Right now, I feel.
What is it? Do you remember something?
Yes. After I stepped out of that door, I saw red. I said I saw red. But I do remember one other sensation. I remember the feeling of gripping my sword. That brief you read, it listed all the charges, all the causes of death. The fifth man, the cop they say I killed. How did he die?
How did he die? I don't think we saw the brief yet. Did he just accidentally kill him on instinct? Ooh.
Stabbed to the back with his sword, skewered like a piece of goddamn meat. And you got the balls to ask us to carry him to a hospital?
I don't think that's quite how I phrased the request.
I've been paying close attention. Would you like me to pay back what you said?
Not right now, Sparky. Reyes, she's just doing her job. It's not like she's asking.
Oh, save the lecture, gray hair.
Gray? Come on, my hair isn't. There is one. There's two. Were those there last time? It's graying, maybe.
In case I haven't made it clear, I've never liked you, Morgan.
Oh, you're breaking my. I hadn't noticed.
But I never took you for a mob lawyer.
Whatever my client's associations might be.
He's a cop killer.
Innocent until proven guilty isn't a phrase I coined myself, detective. I was just waiting for Reyes to come in. All right. Homicide detective, third class. Sneakers, volcanoes, the Paralympics. Wow, I didn't even mention cars this time. Scalpers, hoarders, police. Civil engineering. There must be a lot of the Paralympics going on since a lot of people could be modded now. Fave TV, civil engineering documentaries. The non-conditioner is more important. Is it? I don't know a thing about hair, so I just kind of do whatever with it. There was one brief period of time where I tried to do like a shampoo and conditioner thing as like separate ones, but I don't know. I'm not good at volleyball. Interesting. Ah, shit! They disappeared. I wanted to say with a hell of a sleeper build. Anyway, London. Homicide detective first class, likes duct tape, nice mascara. Interesting. Oak. Tasteful. Parking lot's good. Ties. Okay. Honeydew. Interesting. Fighting new restaurants. Interesting. Accommodations. None displayed at his workstation. Oh. More expensive than it looks. Yeah, those coats tend to... Those coats, especially the ones with the fur at the top like that, tend to run you pretty big. And I can't imagine the rib sweaters any less expensive. When did you start? Was that always there? Do you see that? Was that new? I have to check that again later. It's actually somewhat important.
Oh, don't worry about that. The proving won't take us long at all.
Do you always take pride in rushing your investigations? We've seen all the same intake file by now, yes? I'd love to see it, thank you. Woof. Buddy, you don't look so good. Sosuke Ikario was apprehended at the scene of the crime and placed in medical transport. Oh, fuck. Placed in medical transports. Injuries noted at the time. Hold on. Thirsty. Blood from various sources across the anterior of the body. Numerous bones in the left hand broken as if from impacting a hard surface. Slight laceration found in the left hand. That must be from the knife and freeing himself. Internal bleeding throughout the torso and skull. The beating. Bruising and rope burns on both wrists as if bound, because he was.
Numerous bruises on the anterior front side of the body, beating. Others is blood across the tops of feet and pant legs. When he was walking around, I guess. Largest wound found at the crown of the skull, back and top. Interesting. Oh, wait, that was us. At the time of booking, numerous additional injuries were noticed, including bruise to the left. Oh man, I wonder who did that. Wonder where these additional sources were sustained were not noted. So the eye, the lip, the nose, the ear, left ear, this one, and this are little parting gifts from his arresting officers. Fun. My client was in bad shape when he was arrested, but his wounds were treated in medical transports. Yet somehow, between arriving at the station and his booking, his wounds were reopened, and some of them had multiplied. Tell me if you can, oh great detective. How will we ever solve the mystery of the reappearing fractured skull? Your client was being moved between floors. He struggled trying to escape. And then he fell down the stairs? Really? Was there a lawnmower waiting at the bottom? Look, we're all adults here. So let's just say it. Your coworkers kicked the shit out of him. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I want you to uphold the law. For some reason, I thought you cared about that. A police badge isn't a time machine. By the time we took custody, he was already... She's right, Tiger. What's done is done. You know you got a snowball's chance in hell of proving your client was assaulted while in police custody. And you'll never get charges brought against the officers who did it. So try asking for something doable. Don't go giving away all my best tricks. The door in the face tactic was already fragile. I want him to see a doctor. Gotta be shitting me. He's a... Hold on. That's a bloodied KW in there. You gotta be shitting me. That's a bloodied KW in there with military grade mods. He's not leaving this building. But we could have a doctor brought here. And give him the chance to take a hostage? He's not the 99 man, Reyes. He can't break his cuffs. Don't say 99 man. You know it, don't know. You don't know what it means. You're too old. Hypothetical transhuman is condition of biotechnical severity. A 99 man or a 99 man. Oh, interesting. 99% machine. Okay, yeah. Technically still human. First appeared in speculative short story carved out of marble by M.P. Smith. After the 2072 Paralympics, when middleweight track and field gold medalist Aid Safon. Interesting. Since then, the phrase has been popularized as both a meme and thought experiment, opening up discussions about transhumanism in sports, the business world, education, and beyond. Some social media influencers, athletes, or tech evangelists have taken the 99 man as a challenge, finding themselves as much as possible at the explicit goal of approaching the current limit for transhumanism. Man, even Nikes are like mostly they got the brain and stuff. Officially, the individual who has this greatest percentage of their body mass replaced with artificial analogs is an anonymous male adult living in the Eastern Hemisphere who was suffering from a rare and terminal form of bone cancer before signing up for experimental surgery offered through How Industries' Theseus initiative. How officially describes the patient as currently living in a normal and productive life, though Theseus has never produced any consumer market products and has not published any additional research papers in the last 2 years, leading some to question whether the results are at all replicable or successful. You don't know what it means. You're too old. How about a medic who can't be taken hostage? A medical ad? Sure, great. Let's see if you can interrogate this premium lower while we're at it. Is that a refusal, Detective Reyes? Oh, I didn't say no, did I? Hooray! He also needs a protective detail. Lady, I swear to... Counselor. Protective details are comprised of off-duty cops. I don't think that'll have the outcome you're looking for. No. But if my client is left unattended one more night, he's likely to get declared unfit to stand trial when he shows up to court with his head caved in. An outcome I genuinely believe you're not looking forward to either. We could keep him here. What, in the interrogation room? Counseling quarter. Table can't be moved, but if you slide the chairs out of the way, the floor's not actually that hard. How do you even know that? Given what the other lodgings he's had in the last 24 hours, I don't think your client will mind. So if Detective Reyes and Detective London take shifts keeping watch, now we're keeping watch? It is the Homicide Department's counseling quarter. You think I give a shit what happens to that son of a bitch? You think I wouldn't walk in there myself and... You wouldn't? What? It's not in your nature. What the hell is that supposed to mean? You either have it or you don't. Trust me, if I had a chance, I'd take a swing at that son of a bitch. Yeah, you already called him that. Piece of shit, bastard, killer. But unlike every other cop I walked past to get in here, you've yet to call Sosuke an animal. So what? What the hell does that matter? It's the only thing that matters. I've got the outsider's perspective, so I know. Your average human can do anything to anyone, so long as they're not a person. Whatever. Think what you want, Feep. Well, so long as that's your only request, we should be able to... I need to get in the crime scene as soon as possible. God, you gotta be. What, like tonight? She's not rushing more than anything else, Sunshine. Everyone up in line has been rare to go in this. Now that Sosuke's actually got a lawyer. Well, maybe if that son of a bitch hadn't climbed up all day, we wouldn't. She said it again. Whatever. Hickton, counselor. You can bully us into guard duty or escort duty. We can't do both. I need both. We'll have to split up. But I can help with that. Or rather, Sarah can. I can? Of course you can. You go treat Sosuke. I don't know. I'm not trained in... Oh, I love this bit. She's pretending she doesn't remember being... Oh, I love this bit. She's pretending she doesn't remember being registered as my medical ad. Yes, I would never forget that unforgettable experience. But I've never done first aid before. Well, watch a tutorial first. Use lots of sanitizer. Just hand her some bandages and she'll get Sosuke looking good as new in no time. Then you can plop her in front of the door, and even 20 cougar cops working together couldn't get her to budge. That much is certainly accurate. I have a very strong core, so if I focus and lower my center of gravity. Thanks for the sales pitch, but it doesn't mean shit. The crime scene is in the lower wards. If you think after what happened last night, though, any cop supposed to go down there without their partner. It's okay, Sunshine. I'll take her down there. Is everyone else in here huffing Nirvana? London, it's in Blue Blood territory. Blue Blood territory outskirts, really. They lost a whole pod. They're swarming the place. You can't go down there without backup. Backup, huh? You know Mac from Contraband? Skinny guy? Kind of a perv? Yeah, he's skinny. Look, he's got crime scene analysis sweeps going over that place with a fine comb right now. Drones, probes, the works. They'll have eyes on us before we get within 5 minutes of the place. Whatever. Just keep in contact for once. Hope we're being generously compensated, Eve. Selling your soul to the mob. It'd be a shame if you didn't at least get a good price. Hey, you coming, Blinkers? Gotta find where they store all the medkits in this dusty old piece of... Go on. I'll be right behind you, Detective. Sorry about that. She's still new to all this, really. Not old like me. She does seem to be on edge. More so than usual. It's the first time losing a fellow officer. I think she's taking it pretty hard. Maybe even personally. Did they know each other? Right. You gather up your things, I'll go bring us up a bride. Great. Thanks for all the help, Detective. You're a lifesaver. Though this is one occasion where I wouldn't have any trouble finding the place. Really didn't take you that long to patch him up, huh? Now we just wait here all night. Clock runs pretty slow. If you're not doing anything else, detective.
Oh, that's when she did her. Okay, that's when she did her interview. That's fun. Interview pop off. Let's go.
Once more into the depths. When I went down to the lower wards last night, I knew what I wanted to find, but I wasn't sure where to look. Now I know where to look, but I have a lot of priorities to consider. Be nice if I could prove Sosuke's innocence. Won't be easy, given they think he killed a cop. But it'd keep me on Akaria's good side. That'd be nice. But what is essential is that I figure out what the hell happened after I left, and whether anyone found any trace that I was ever there. Everything else is secondary. Sorry, guess I should have asked before I decided we'd be sharing a cab. I don't mind. But I am surprised. Did budget cuts take away your shiny patrol car? Patrol cars are shared, counselor. Any cop can step into any other cop's car, sync their credentials, and drive. Convenient. Shame you can't personalize. Yeah, no more dice in the mirror. Is that why we're in a cab then? Personal taste? Police cars are full of bugs. Thought you might appreciate the privacy. Autocabs are full of bugs too. True. There are ways around them. Are there? I didn't know that. Yeah, plenty. Can be easy as flashing a police badge. Something you wanted to discuss in private, detective? I was asked to get in contact with you and press along a message. A secret admirer. Certain interested parties and all that. You know how it is. I'm not sure I do. Does this have something to do with my client's business affiliations? There'd be a lot more blustering if I were to repeat it in verbatim, so I'll paraphrase. Focus on getting the best outcome for your client. More of a reminder of what my job description is than a warning. And don't broaden the scope of your investigation any more than strictly necessary. Well, I always appreciate the kind words of advice. But Detective London, that almost makes it sound like you're on the take. That's the city, Tiger. If you don't take a little, they'll bury you. Alive, if need be. Oh, they will? How conspiratorial. Not a joke, Morgan. Did they threaten your wife with Tommy guns if you didn't comply? It's gotten more sophisticated than that. Well, maybe sophisticated ain't the right word. Complicated might be more accurate. Or you could just call it a quagmire. Even a shitstorm. If you can't get along to get along, you and other cops won't trust you. You'll end up shot in the back, friendly fire. Tragic newspaper clipping. You're exaggerating. You're telling me the entire police force is corrupt. Corruption would be one thing. You could, in theory, root it out. But above and below the canopy, it's all entwined. Every tree stabilizing every other tree. What do they call that? Not parasitism. Shit, I do know this. Not right now. Commensalism. I did not know it. There you go. State pays criminal informants to rat on their peers and let them keep their positions in exchange. Polkas by judges and politicians to keep their men out of prison. Status quo. Balancing act. A cycle. Stable as any gyroscope. Forgive me if I find that hard to believe. Crime's at an all-time low. Not a contradiction. People hate crime. But what gets people killed is chaos. And the opposite of organized crime is servants playing nice with each other. Even Detective Reyes. She's... What about the man they think my client killed? Did he play nice? He was a special case. You got the brief. You recognize his last name? It's a big city. Don't put too much stock into last names. You need to break that habit if you want to continue to work in the underworld. Sasuke said something similar. Tariq Chopin. Only son of Miguel and Dominique Chopin. Chopin. Wow. This was the cop? Yeah. 24/7 news, calligraphy, late dinners. That's bad for your gut health. Gray hairs, untucked shirts, mint. Bachelor of Science and Applied Philosophy. Oh, okay. I see now. It's a senatorial commendation of bravery, posthumous. No. Fathers Miguel and Dominic Chopin, city councilman. City councilman? Interesting. The power couple? Why would the son of two of our city's most prominent council members be working as a police officer? You want the full story? Always. So who was this Chopin, really? An idealist. Wrong line of work, then. You're only half right. When he entered the academy, everyone assumed it was a political move. First step in his career to become a senator or whatever. And maybe it was, but anyone who met the guy could tell he would have made a lousy politician. You're saying he was honest? Wouldn't tell a lie if his life depended on it. Guy couldn't do small talk, much less make friends. Talk about cleaning up the city, cleaning up the police, cleaning up everything. If he was so unpopular, why was he kept on? No one on the force wanted to risk consulting his parents by firing him. Just got passed around from department to department, detail to detail. Did a lot of community outreach. Community outreach? What, like bake sales? Like giving talks at schools about saying no to drugs until you turn 21. Woof. Must have really loved his job to put up with that. Or I just wanted to prove a point that bad. Don't you try and save lower ward patrols with the more seasoned, better armed officers? We do, yeah. How do you know that? I'm going to the lower wards and looking at the cops you send there, of course. Read about it in Watch magazine last month. Oh. Chopin was the son of such powerful men. Why did he end up in the lower wards last night? That? I don't know. You don't know. By all accounts, he and his partner should have been at least 2 patrols removed from that area. Must have been following up on some other lead. His partner? Who's that? The hero who finally arrested the Hound of Icaria. That's who. I'll have to send him a congratulatory fruit basket. Huey Rogers. Pretty bare bones record. Maybe that'll just add to his legend. What legend? Taking your client alive. Whacked him on the head with his sidearm, knocked him out cold. Guess it is a small miracle that Sasuke was just shot dead if they thought he killed the cop. Maybe, but it wasn't pure luck. Only thing that did stick out to me in Roger's record was his shooting score. 41. Out of 100. He needed 40 to pass. Think someone took pity on him, tallying up his score. So he only whacked Sasuke on the head because it was too bad a shot to avenge his partner? And at least Rogers knew his weaknesses. The Hound. This doesn't really feel like an unlock of... Yeah, whatever. I don't know how this game is structured. I keep hearing that name. Hound of Icaria. I cringe every time. No one actually calls him that, right? Sorry, but I've definitely heard that name circulating around organized crime before. Must be a hell of a bodyguard to have earned a nickname for it. He's a bodyguard? And hell yeah, he must be pretty good. Of course, hound dogs are known for other things besides guard. Sorry, that was, crude. I think I get what you're getting at, but that's not where my brain goes. Anyway. Aw, don't be sorry. I didn't get enough of the joke to be offended. Okay. That all makes for some interesting food for thought. But Detective London, if you are working for the Blue Bloods,
I never said I work for the Bluebloods. It's more of a gig worker type thing, Tiger. I'm friends with everybody. If you're working for the mob in general, then I don't know you're even taking me to the right place and not to. Whoa. I may pass a message along here and there, but I'm not. Damn. Hell, no one is either. Whatever you imagine, it's not that exciting, I promise. Not that exciting. Sounds about right. Is it like this in every city? Handshakes and gentlemen agreements behind closed doors? You disillusioned? State has a great deal of power, Detective London. Makes countless rules. Now, I'm a big girl. I know those rules don't apply to people equally. And I understand the value of criminal informants and the possible conflicts of interest that arise in trying to keep them around. What I don't get is why the state has all this strength and it won't use it to just wipe the underworld off the map. It's pretty cold logic. I'd expect my state to be far colder. Hey, you ever heard this one? A politician, a CEO, and a mob boss is sitting on a round table with a gun in the middle. Who you betting on? The CEO. A CEO looks at a loaded gun and sees the bullets in the clip as inventory that needs moving. Plus, they're used to taking a job and setting up their golden parachutes before anything else. I doubt they'd walk into that room without first planning how they're getting out of it. Fair enough. CEOs only get the job in the first place by convincing their board they can navigate high stakes. But it's a trick question, of course. Rock, paper, scissors has no trump card. A politician can bring the heavy arm of the law down to the mob boss if you don't shoot the CEO for it. The mob boss can have the CEO's family killed if you don't blow away the politician first. And the CEO can supercharge the campaign of whoever the politician's opponent is if he refuses to miss the mob boss. Yeah, seems like you can make the argument to go in the other direction too. You could. So the point of the riddle's meant to teach is this. Whoever convinces someone else to pull the trigger comes out on top. Funny. So in the parable you've set up, the gun on the table, that's the police? The blameless tool with no will of its own? Yeah. Though it was older man than I who set it up, didn't realize this country's police were so powerless. However do you manage? We used to have a partner that helped us out, a tiebreaker. Because all three of those powerful men would be screwed if the journalists told the world they were meeting together. I got good news for you, Detective. Journalists still exist. I could introduce you to one. You could even take a photograph. Oh, I know they ain't extinct. People are always right. It's just no one wants to pay them to. Sorry, didn't mean to talk so much. Maybe it's nerves coming back down here. What happened last time you visited? Something up? Didn't put you to sleep, did I? No. Actually, your 3-seat table reminded me of an even older thought experiment. If God is omnipotent, why does he allow the existence of the devil? Even I know that one. To preserve free will or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the answer most people give. But now I'm wondering if it isn't a rock, paper, scissors deadlock, the one you just described. God lets the devil be, so he'll terrify man, and man will always need God's warm protection. And God needs man's faith, which can't be compelled. Of course, most people would also say that God's long dead in the 21st century, but we're still around. So that leaves the devil in an awfully strong position, don't it? You guys picture 3 men in that room, don't you? Huh? Yeah, I guess I do, sorry. Do 55 feminine rosaries. Do 55 feminist rosaries for your penance. This is the female lawyer. Wow. Making good time, I think. Feminist rosaries. I dropped my fiddle screw. It took us, what, 20 minutes? I wasn't paying attention. The lower wards. Also, yeah, I think it's really funny that she was like, well, I'm uncomfortable with this talk for the devil shit. Why don't I make it even more uncomfortable for him? Detective London? We are definitely not alone down here. When you assured your partner that we'd have company, I didn't think you were including blue bloods. You know, I knew I'd forgotten to mention. Well, then she's a liar, babe. Because I never said that. No, I never said that. Oh, come on, babe. That's what she's like. She lies for fun. Because that's what I call you, babe. It's a pet name. You like it. No, don't hang up. Don't hang up, baby. Don't hang up. Of course I do. We gotta get to work, hon. I'll have to call you back, babe. Something just came up. London, what's going on? London, who's this? Counselor Morgan, this is Adelaide Hall. She's a blue blood. She's a blue blood. Hey, I'm a perfectly legitimate career woman. You're speaking to Serranus, security site manager. If you need anything, miss, please don't hesitate to reach out. Oh, good. Site manager. With her phone number? Adelaide Hahn's business card listing her as a site manager at Serrano Security, a known front for the Blue Blood criminal organization. Includes her personal contact number on top of her work details for some reason. I always knew Morgan was a catch. Interesting that that's evidence. I would say that means something for this case, but there was a lot of unused evidence last case too. Real business card? It even has a watermark. I'm not familiar with Serranus. We're a private security investigating firm. We provide bouncers, armed escorts, we catch cheating partners, file runaway debtors, run paternity tests, that kind of stuff. Serranus is a trusted partner for your business ventures, offering a suite of private security bodyguards, convoys, bouncers, private investigators, paternity tests, family history research, and shipping insurance. Answer a few questions about your needs in our portal below. We'll get you set up with the peace of mind you're searching for. You probably pop with the security pop-up when interacting with some of the features on our site. You can safely disregard these messages as they're related to a legal matter that has already been settled out of court. We apologize for the disruption of the site experience. Ready to get started? All right. Come on. Right click. Sorry, but have we met somewhere? No, it can't be. I'd never forget a beauty like you. She's the Hound's lawyer, hon. Seriously? She works for those copperhead scumbags? So our mortal enemies? That sucks. Nothing life then, eh? But I'll still play nice if you will. Adelaide Hahn. Site manager, security, new furniture, silk clothes, I could tell. Dimples. It just likes the clingy types, jealous types, needles. I can imagine. Pickup games. Yeah, I can imagine. Laundry day. Interesting. Least favorite chore, throwing out dead flowers. Oh, negative. Right. So you're private security and you're currently securing this crime scene? Yeah? What's with the tone? What you're hearing is genuine bewilderment. London, why are the police letting blue bloods contaminate the crime scene where a cop died? Come on, we don't have cooties. If this wasn't the location where a cop died, we'd have already turned full control over to them. What? The police contract out the security around crime scenes to private companies all the time. And around here, the private company best suited for the job happened to be Serranus. Letting them conduct their own side investigations is a small concession to keep the peace. A small concession? They're probably in there destroying evidence as we speak. We have Ox to preserve crime scene. They could burn the building down if we'd still have a pristine copy. London Bridges is trying to save face. Police couldn't keep this crime scene off limits without our help, and he knows it. Gremlins would be smashing our shiny cameras and popping their expensive tires around the clock if we weren't there. Lower words, kids. Take out drones by tossing shoes at them for fun.
Is that why you see shoes hanging off wires? No, I don't know why that happens. We already got that one. It's a thing teens have always done for fun. I think it was like a dead person, dead kid's shoes or something? I don't know. Mystery solved? Fine. Maybe the cops and the Bluebloods are all consummate professionals who never even bicker. What kind of impartiality can I expect coming here to defend a Nicaria? Well, you might get some ugly looks from those with left chivalry, but no one's going to get in your way. We know how defense attorneys operate. We know damn well how you usually win. No one's going to do anything to let you worm the hound out of his life sentence on a technicality. You sure you wouldn't prefer that? Have him back out on the street so you can take another shot at him? Oh, so flattery. That's how you flirt? What does that mean? You think we never managed to gun down the hound of Ikari in the street? Shank him in the holding cell? The Blue Bloods took him alive just fine the other day, didn't they? Yeah, look what happened to them afterwards. So you won't tamper with the crime scene just because you want to make sure that the state lobotomizes Sosuke for pentuple homicide? Yeah. I mean, we also literally paid good money to do those kinds of jobs, so we have a reputation to maintain. Rate us 5 stars and you're done looking around, Kay? I'll be sure to leave a glowing review. So this is the main entrance. Front door looks about as heavy as I remember it, but it's unlocked. What was that? How was this door found? Chopin and Rogers were the first officers on the scene, responding to gunfire. Someone heard that. Good thing I cleaned up fast. Checked the area, then entered through the front door. Door was definitely locked when I arrived, but I didn't lock it behind me when I left. Didn't have any keys. Admiring our handiwork, this is a Serratus installation. What's the Blue Bloods trust to secure Blue Blood buildings? How's it lock? You never used a key before? I want to know how the lock functions. Does it lock behind you automatically? That's a good question. You looking to buy? Because I could set you up. It is a good question, huh? Why don't you answer it? But yeah, the spot locks behind you by default. You need a key to get in if someone doesn't unlock it for you from inside. Physical key. Physical keys can't be hacked. Overridden by a police badge. Some people consider those useful features. Is that why the door is ajar? Looks like the lock was destroyed. Was it found like this? Yeah, for as long as the aux has been set up. Definitely one locked when me and Reyes arrived, which was around 10:20 p.m. The front door entrance to the crime scene utilizes a physical lock and key mechanism designed to automatically lock behind you when leaving the building. Damaged and non-functional. Trey definitely had to unlock it to let me inside. I didn't think to see if it had locked behind me after I left. Is that a thing I could have done? I don't really think so. Pretty sure I looked at everything. Hang on, you and Reyes... What, were you the second officers on scene? That's right. We weren't far behind when 10:999 went out. 10:999 went out, 10:15. Jargon, an emergency response code officer down. 1099 is an emergency response code utilized by municipal nation most frequently. 10:999, sorry. One or more first responders' lives are in danger. This police department standard issue suite of biomonitors allow for this code to be sent out across emergency networks automatically when cardiac activity is disrupted or blood pressure changes. Due to the non-negligible chance that moderate exercise could be misinterpreted by the biomonitors, some departments make it a policy to avoid enabling the automatic alert function. Long way from precinct 254, isn't it? We were in the area. Awkward. You want the toy then? Actually, I'd like to check out the alley first. You know the crime scene's on the 3rd floor, right? Yeah, but it has a window that opens to the alley, doesn't it? I just prefer to start from the bottom and work my way up sometimes. Sure, we can start there. Just be careful where you step. I like those boots and all. They are nice boots. Oops, shit.
Didn't think we'd be looking around already. Let's see. Trash can. Much darker last night than it is now. I only took a quick peek. But even so, this looks like it's been moved, huh? This whole area around it. There's certain things like trash cans where the kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but they leave stains. Like there's shit radiating out of it. Yeah, was trash picked up last night, perhaps? Check the model number on the side. Looks like dumpsters of this make haven't been picked up at the city in a decade. I didn't realize there was DRM on trash cans. Hey, it's a heavy model. Tough to lift, even if the wheels weren't broken. And designed for containing industrial waste? How when it appeared in residential district is... Isn't that hard to puzzle out, is it? It was cheaper for the megs to dump their shit on us than it was to haul into a landfill. Is that why I can see markings from the ground here? From leaks? Aw, you really are a tourist, ain't you? I've been in the lower wards before. But only at night, right? Rain's dirty down here. Stains the ground wherever it falls. Acid rain? Like from the history books? Not quite that bad. Just small, combined with precipitation, combined with charms of the city to make... There's a shot named after it. Tequila and pickle juice. So is the dumpster empty? Let's see. Hey, grab a glove if you're gonna... Yeah, it's mostly empty, except for a bunch of scrap metal at the bottom. Explains why I can't get it to budge. Careful, if you get your toe trapped under there, don't look at me if you help. Don't look to me to help you just because I'm modded. Are you saying you couldn't budge it either? I could if a girl was cheering me on. Okay, London, thanks. Don't know what I was expecting to find, really. Now just watch it so you don't... What the hell? Let the lid slam. Sorry. Can I still look around? Thank you. Okay. Before we gather any other evidence. One problem with blue bloods and cops running security. I don't know who to blame for leaving their shit here. We got the moral high ground of whichever part of society learns to pick up after themselves first. Bombing ruled out in university fire. Panic abounded last week on campus when the computer labs at North Technica University were set ablaze. Computer labs, huh? In the early hours of the morning, students and faculty skirted the campus in anxious postures. The federal agents descended to the left vicinity, searching for signs they could point to for a culprit. But as of today, the fire has officially been ruled an accident and successfully traced back to a cooling system failure. In the basement's main server hub, a freak accident that has provided simultaneous relief and confusion to the community. When the fire was first reported on, they were quick to point out its similarities to other fires and bombings recently reported by sweeping eastward across the nation, dubbed by some as work of the Witch of the West. Each incident appears to have targeted area data infrastructure, hitting state, corporate, and academic nerve centers and leaving behind significant financial grief for the aftermath. Hundreds of thousands of files related to student debt, all of it non-recoverable. Interesting. After the students' university registry records out of a little smoke, we're reaching out to alumni as quickly as we can to try and piece their records back together. But frankly, a lot of them have been less than eager to speak with us. They may have no choice but to re-examine payment plans for our current students' tuition. Federal investigation officials have no formal comments at the time, but some local law enforcement officers describe seeing federal agents frustrated with the so-called witch. Criticism of the response has begun to surface in the political realm, with Senator Colt now formally calling the Director of Investigations to testify as to the progress, or lack thereof, in search of this serial arsonist. Another notable... Right. Oh my god. Don't do that. Ew. Exclusively to a compliment ID like you. Let me read this. Corporate, academic, and state. Interesting. I feel like I've heard stories about bombings out west in the last few months. I don't know they'd all be attributed to one person, or that they're now calling them the Witch of the West. I mentioned the victims, well, data centers being targeted. Clearly this witch is hitting someone where it hurts. If they've now got... Can I read that again? Calling for the investigators. What really stands out to here is the federal investigators are getting involved. Most national security agencies were absorbed into the military police complex decades ago. That bureau survived, but it's a mere fraction of the size it used to be, and very different in function. Their modern reputation is that of attack dogs, deployed to the state to make examples of political targets. Can't say I like the idea of them being out there hunting for serial offenders, but it's not like they ever know where to look. Fire escape would lead right up to the crime scene, assuming it doesn't come crashing down once you step onto it. It's missing the ladder that would connect to its street level. You're violating fire code with this tetanus trap on. Building inspection's not my department. Besides, who'd want to climb up into a burning building? Firefighters? You're funny, Bridges. Even a copper firefighter wouldn't risk getting singed to save Lower Ward's property from burning down. That means new, right? Automated dependent. Oh, yeah, that's right. Clanker carpenter breath. I remember this from the very beginning of the last one. An industrial dumpster found in the alley that's a little heavy. It still shows sign of being moved. Unpleasant sound is discovered, but Detective Ray is investigating. An ad could probably make the jump up there. Yeah, it's a heavy. If an android leaped onto that, the whole mess would probably come down on top of him. Rusted and poorly maintained. It's missing a ladder. So one could only move back and forth between the third floor where the bodies are found and the second floor of the room beneath it. So they need to get into the building first before doing anything else. Yeah, ladders are heavy too. Hey! Looks like the only way into the building's through the front door then. Alright, all done back here. I think I've seen everything That's right. I was standing here last night when... Yep. The kid covered in eyes. It was dark and foggy. The kid was too far off to make out my face. Weren't they? What was it, Tiger? Nothing. Thought I saw someone out of the corner of my eyes all. Yeah? Around here, maybe it wasn't unlisted. What do you... Those are real? Keep to themselves, obviously, but yeah, they're real. Met some. They inform, sometimes, what they've seen. Never come in to testify, of course. You'd think they'd stand out dressing like that, but... if their camouflage didn't work, they wouldn't be unlisted, right? What do you mean they keep to themselves? Don't they work with any of the gangs down here? Sorry, have I gotten your hopes up on something? Trust me, you got a better chance of winning the lottery than running into one. Right, forget I asked. This is a term they threw around earlier. Actively registered in the state database. Missing persons are unhoused who are not being tracked by any government database. Oh. Much of the 21st century, individuals of this description are most often undocumented immigrants, followed by shifts in immigration patterns and the implementation of the Military Service Citizenship Program, the Minuteman Bill. Undocumented immigration has sharply declined, while many non-citizens do live and work within the country. They are tracked through immigration monitoring and services as part of their military service agreement. The country are fully naturalized to the end of the service. If you immigrate, do you have to, like, be in the military? Ew. Staying listed mostly refers to small groups of seasonal workers who travel the country in migrating caravans to find work undercutting corporate contracts on various agricultural or fungal installations.
Some anthropological studies have described groups of enlisted living in urban, generally poor areas that are effectively homeless communities. While a majority of whom are unhoused for less than 2 weeks, these enlisted actively refuse state housing assistance of any kind. Concerns about malnourishment, illiteracy, extreme poverty, and rampant mental illness within enlisted populations has, at times, spurred outreach programs that attempt to contact them, but at their very nature as enlisted, usually actual data on their quality of life or cultural practices is culturally non-existent. Right. You ready to go inside? I think so, as long as... No, not with anyone else, just me here. 'Cause she's shrill, princess. And delusional, you know that. I'm sure she'll catch up. Clingy. So you're saying this used to be an apartment building? Somewhere between that and a long-stay motel, yeah. Blue Bloods didn't deviate that far from the model when they took over. They call rooms like these vaults, places to stash away a lover, witness, debtor, when there's too much heat. You gone through all these vaults, I take it? Sionis helped with that last night, yeah. Bringing around master keys, clearing out every possible hiding place. Didn't find a red-handed killer hiding anywhere, did you? Sorry, no. So this is Blue Blood's forte then. Securing people, places, things. You could think of it that way. Guess I always assumed gangs made their money through drugs. Well, the Blue Bloods do deal here and there. But narcotics has been a rich man's game ever since the CDCA rolled in. I think I remember that one. Contraband Decriminalization Act. Yeah, I remember this. Again, early in the last case. You have the funds to ride the gray wave the way House Sicario does, you can make a killing. You got the market corner from black to gray to white to pure green profit. Blue Bloods hate that. They have to make do with all the scrap and the megs in the house don't bother producing en masse. Professional jealousy. How ugly. Why can't these underworld overlords just bury the hatchet, get together, and screw over the consumer like reasonable people do? They've tried, if you believe the rumors. About a year ago, there was some kind of meeting on the branch from the Golds to the Blues. Apparently, the Blue Bloods had a product that Icaria wanted us to distribute. The Icaria sell legal drugs now, though. What kind of product would the Blue Bloods have that Icaria couldn't manufacture? Not sure. Maybe that's why it went south so fast. Low but spilled in less than an hour. The Icaria ain't the type to keep negotiating after being spat in like that. So the Blue Bloods remain firmly planted in their lower wards niche. They might not like having to take the low end, but they're filling a gap in the market. And that's every proper capitalist's calling, right? Besides, the workers certainly appreciate the protection down here. Workers hire Blue Bloods for protection. That's... all that stuff is legal, so long as they're licensed, isn't it? Legal, yeah. Respectable? Most still say no. So, household name security megs consider it too high risk to be seen in the company of workers. I think I get it. Yep. Shortened for journalists to refer to individuals who are legally licensed as such, as opposed to those who are engaging in outside of legal guidelines. Workers operating in high-end establishments, generally in specifically zoned municipal districts with high median property prices, and catering to only specific clientele may be more commonly referred to as courtesans. To verify your age. Worker information only. Smart. Don't help that their average board members easily pushing 60 years old. You aren't that far from pushing 60 yourself, are you? Matter of opinion. Besides, I'm a very modern, forward-thinking man. Did you finish those 50 rosaries already? Right. And the Icaria, they don't, compete in the market? No. People like the Icaria's Heights might patronize a courtesan or two in the cloud districts, but they never lower themselves to work alongside one. Hypocrites. Hypocrites. Not much I understand perfectly. The hypocrisy is the appeal for them. The rules don't apply to me. Couldn't ask for a more pure expression of power.
Oops, shit. We flashed there a little bit. Oh, oh, oh. There we go.
Damn. Worse than I remember. Like a demon tore through the place. Seriously. What the hell happened here? So y'all get paid to find out for, right? Yeah. Definitely got a head start on the rest of you, though. Shall I bring up the arcs? Sure, I'll patch you in. Allow me. If you're needed on the phone, Miss Hahn, please don't let me keep you here. Nonsense, I got all the time in the world for you. Everyone's treating me like royalty today. I was wondering why we didn't bring back arcs. This is so cool. Let's see just how much they know. Took the words right out of my mouth. Where shall we start? How about tall, dark, and mysterious in the middle here? That'd be your client. He was found standing over Chopin's body by the arresting officer. Rogers, right? And then he knocks Sasuke out. Correct. So why isn't this artistic rendition of Sasuke not a capture from Rogers' body cam? Well, it seems like at the time, their body cam was off. Seriously? Hey, I chew him out myself if he was here with us. It's the department policy to have all senses green when responding to an emergency. Did all this not qualify as an emergency then? Not qualify as an emergency then? Chopin and Rogers responded to shots fired. It's not uncommon in this side of town. For two inexperienced officers first on the scene, might not have come to mind. At least Chopin could use that excuse. Rest in peace. But apparently Rogers requests replacement body cams nearly every week. Okay, if he's that big of a klutz, take away his gun. Once the city's done throwing up a parade. I'll, put in a request. Right then. Who's next? What do we got to look at? Oh, hey. That one's, Oops, shit. Blood loss from the neck. Even I can tell that much. That one was the stab with the knife, I think. Oh, yeah, and he took it out, too. That's how he died. Stab with a bladed weapon right near the carotid artery. Very efficient. Not the kind of kill someone could make without prior experience. My client's but a humble bodyguard. Come on now, I know you got a job to do, but you'll shame him. You'll shame him if you don't let him take credit for this one. Miller was no joke in a fight. Take him out with one clean stab in the neck using his precious signature katana? I must be itching to brag about it. I'll defer to the medical examiner on this matter. Thank you very much. What do you mean? Sato said the same thing. Katana to the neck, not in so many words. Is Miller's blood even on the katana? Even if it is, why would a medical examiner assume that a katana was used here when my knife is a much more better fit for my knife? Where is it? Where? I gave Sosuke the knife before I left. It should have been found on him when he arrested. Should be somewhere in the arcs. Looking for something, Tiger? They haven't found the knife out, and I ask about it anyway. That means admitting that I know it's missing. If I tell them Sosuke mentioned the knife the only killer would know about, they'd be ruining my case before we even enter the courtroom. Or worse, putting the police in the direction of the knife's real origin. No, I just... Was anything found on my client's person when he was arrested? Besides a gun, a sword, and a bunch of blood didn't belong to him? No, not even any lint in his pockets. Why do you ask? No reason. Sometimes you gotta shake the tree and see what falls out. Or so they say. Oh, you were blindly guessing. I've been there. Something must have happened to that knife. It had just disappeared. Not from a crime scene locked down like this. I need to find it. But I can't just go looking for it. This is what it feels like to play with a handicap. Shit.
The first one I see.
Yeah, I can't look at my phone right now.
Alright.
Oh. Yeah, I can. Cool.
Yeah, we'll go a little longer. Fuck it. No reason not to. Windows open to the fire escape in the alley below. There's a thin misting of blood across them. Gotta get guesses to who that belongs to. This is where I found Creek, lead of the pod. Ballistics tells us the shooter was standing in front of the desk, near where my client was found. Your words, not mine. Nasty slug burst in his chest, blew blood back out of the window behind him. The open windows. Hell of a spread. Yes, it is. Did someone open these, or? No, they're open. We secured the scene. Any fingerprints? Blaney on the handles there, from Creek in his pod. That's where the handles are? Something wrong? Definitely, but how the hell could I explain how I knew that? No, sorry, I just... guess I'm wondering about the keys around his neck or in the arcs. Oh, well. One was a master key, couldn't unlock any other door in the building. The other key was eventually paired to a small safe in his desk. Empty, though. Suppose that's all irrelevant, since he apparently died with the keys on his person. Yeah, it caught my eye too, to be honest, but not every detective's instinct pans out. So who was this guy? Curious? Only professionally. I don't care what he was before I killed him. Criminal record dating as far back as it goes. Sealed when he turned 18. What makes you sure he has a juvie record then? The more experience these guys get, the more time in between their arrests. Pattern I'm seeing. He was pretty damn experienced by the time he was of age. You trying to compliment him? I wasn't trying to insult him, huh? Anything you'd like to add? Nah, nothing I want to say in front of you two. If you want to say a few words, the detective and I could step. Only words I have are for his killer. I'll deliver them in person or not at all. Fair enough. Do you have any idea why someone might want to hurt this, Creek guy? It's not funny. That dog you're defending. It's a fair question, huh? Give it fair consideration. Besides the Icaria, the rest were our city's finest? No. Creek was charismatic and driven. Plus, he made us a lot of money. No true blue would want him gone. The bloodthirsty Icaria soldier he was interrogating, however, probably wasn't a huge fan. What about family? This is getting old fast. The younger brother's listed as his next of kin. Leave his brother out of this. Hell, leave me out of this. Rooting through a person like you're picking at zits. Well, seems he's out of town anyway. Taking summer lessons at Hal Mariner U. That's a good school. Expensive school. Younger brother has no listed occupation. Also, no prize in juvenile record. TADs at his age? Poor kid. Bills for that cost an arm and a leg. Creek must have been sending him. Detectives? Did you just leak confidential medical data on a non-suspect to a third party? Hey, you don't have to report. Buy an ice cream or something. Bribery too. You're digging yourself pretty deep. Is it still bribery if I'm the government official? Who the hell, man? I like that it's a different one. So it's like, yes, this is the one we all seen, and then blinding. What the fuck? Ah, man. I wanted to finish looking at the crime scene before we wrap it up, but it's getting pretty late. Maybe I'll do one more. Yeah. Well, let's look at him. He was fine. I'd advise you to brace yourself before opening the autopsy photos for this one, counselor. Yes, this is sufficiently obfuscated. A lot to take in. Skull is crushed? Yeah, but the cause of death was blood loss from a laceration across the neck. Really? He hit the floor and he bled out in seconds. Everything else he's seeing is post-mortem. Overkill. Not the word I'd use for this kind of shit. Oh, calm down. I didn't do it for the fun of it. In this specific instance.
This victim had modded eyes? Seems to me like someone just didn't want to take any chances. Well, shit. No one in the lower wards would get optic mods without restoring functionality. With recording functionality. We wouldn't be welcome anywhere. You gonna claim the Hound of Icaria didn't know something that fundamental? Nah, he bashed his brains in for the fun of it. Sure, to a law-abiding citizen like yourself, we're all scum of the earth who observe. You know, I'm pretty scummy myself, hon. Defense attorney, remember? Who the hell deserves shit like this? Deserves. What does that have to do with anything? I take it this is the bat that did the deed. Matches the splinters found on the wounds, if you had any doubts. Nothing here about Sosuke's fingerprints. You think we can get anything but partials off that? It's practically splinters. Makes sense. I was the one who actually swung it down, and I was wearing gloves by then. Whoever did this, they were damn enthusiastic. You know how hard they'd have to scream to crush a skull, to break the bat itself? I can't imagine. There's some faint blood that's been smeared here. Did it belong to the victim? And Sosuke. I wonder if maybe the bodies hadn't gotten moved around for some reason, but your client's legs and feet were soaked in his blood as he was arrested. And he would have had to sneak up on Chopin in order to stab him in the back. You think he slid his feet across the ground to avoid making noise? Does he say otherwise? I'll let you keep guessing on that one. We're gonna look at the last body we know, and then I'll wrap up. Because we still got other things. The big one. He made a strange face when I shot him, and a loud slam when he hit the floor. This one. Real long rap sheet. With a short end. Buckshot to the torso. Died instantly. Flex were on his mods, put the time of death at 9:44 p.m. Killed by his own weapon. Comes up a bit short of poetic justice. But it doesn't look like he was in any kind of struggle for it beforehand. How'd someone manage to get it out of his hands? Wasn't any great feat, I assure you. Tex identified it as a double-barreled Mag US, and... Hey, how'd you know the gun was his? He's still wearing the holster and the arcs. Was I mistaken? No. About a week ago, Tanksy was stopped and frisked by a patrol unit. And they found this here gun on him. They found this gun on him, and he just handed it back to him? He bought it and paid for it above board. So this gun isn't jailbroken? You have tag data from the murders? No, we don't. Strange. According to the text, the gun is jailbroken. What happened between last week and last night that he let get the tag stripped off? Someone made him think his piece would see action soon. Alright. I thought that'd go for a little bit longer. Let's spread across the windows. The forensic analysis trade back with the mangoes. Fingerprints on the handles match Creek and the rest of his pod. Short-barreled maglev firearm recovered from the scene of the crime, registered to Ankurtan, aka Tanks. Found at Sosuke Karia's purse when he was arrested by Officer Rogers. Fingerprint analysis shows that Sosuke gripped it in his left hand. That's going to be important. No one else's fingerprints are present. Modified to an illegal extent. Slugs fire detonate after... Wow. Oh, I see. The gun leaves no digital traces. Horribly gaudy, but got the job done. Last I saw it, it listed Sosuke's waistband. Cheap wooden bat used to bludgeon Trey's skull post-mortem. Splintered beyond repair during the bludgeoning. Fingerprint analysis proved inconclusive, resulting only partials. It was barring Sosuke from exiting the other room before I used it to destroy Trey's eyes. But no one knows that, and I have no way of informing them. What a pain. Alright. Oop, shit. No. Right. Save. There we go.
All right. It's in the can. It's a really killer look for her. Looking in the camera. And break. Okay. That's about it for me tonight, guys. Because I'm tired. Not quite falling asleep in the middle reading tired, but we're getting there. And I have a bonus secret weapon for when that happens now. But just the once. And I'll leave it a secret till we get there. But until then, hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your week. Hope you're all taking care of each other, and make sure to clean up after yourselves. Life can get messy. Take care, all. Bye.